Hi, welcome to the video where I'm going to explain multiplying radicals. So that is our goal for this video. And if you notice in the definition or vocab box, we have a little reminder here for multiplying radicals. The first thing it says that the radical must have the same index. So that piece will be key. We'll be looking at square roots today, but for future reference, if you're going to be multiplying, you can multiply square roots with square roots, or you can multiply cube roots with cube roots, but just check to make sure that you have the same index. Okay, the second part, it says multiply the coefficients here. So that's going to be step one, once we realize we have the same index, and then it says to multiply the radicands together. So it's basically going to be a two-step process that we're going to start with the coefficients. And I actually want to take a look at its example 4 in your workbook. I want to start with example 4. I'll go back to example 3 in a minute here. Okay, but let's look at example 4 first of all. Okay, and this is a good one to start with because it has some coefficients for us to look at. Remember, that's the number out in front of the radical sign. So I am going to start with multiplying 7 times 5. Or, better yet, we can write that as 35. Now the second part, remember, we need to multiply the radicands. So that part underneath the radical, so I'm going to multiply 6 times 15. That's these two numbers right here. Oops. I should probably use a highlighter on that one. Okay, so we're looking at the 6 and the 15. And if I multiply those two together, we are going to have 90 underneath our square root sign. Now that's a pretty good looking answer, but I think we can reduce. And remember, you always want to reduce your answer if you can. So I'm going to look at the number 90 and I'm going to split that up. Remember, 90 is made up of 9 times 10. And we said 9 has a pair of 3's. 10 would be 5 times 2. So what I'm going to do is take that pair of 3's, and those are going to team up and pop outside of the radical. So outside we have the 35 originally, and we are going to multiply that by 3 for a grand total of 105 outside the radical. Underneath the radical, we are going to have 10. Now, where did I come up with that 10? Remember, the leftover pieces, the 5 times 2, can be multiplied back together for 10 underneath the square root sign. And that is your final answer. Okay, now let's jump back to example 3 in your workbook. The reason why I didn't start out with this one is it's a little confusing, but when I look at the coefficients out in front, there actually aren't any coefficients. So I wanted to start with one that had the coefficients, and that's why example 4 was, I thought, a better one to start with. So since number 3 doesn't have any coefficients out in front, I'm actually not going to have anything in my answer, at least to start, out in front of the radical sign. We are going to go straight to multiplying the parts underneath the radical sign, and there's a lot going on that we can multiply. So let's start with a big radical sign, and underneath we are going to be able to multiply the 8 times 12. Or if you want to multiply that all together right away and start with 96, that's a good choice. Now we are also going to look at the x variable in each radical. Okay, now notice you have an x squared in the first radical and an x to the third in the second radical. And when we are multiplying with exponents, you actually want to add. So I am going to have 2 plus 3. I'm looking at the exponents for a total of x to the 5th. And if I look at the y, remember the first one, it's a y to the first. you don't see an exponent there, it's always understood as a 1. So I am going to take 1 plus 5 to add those exponents for a grand total of y to the 6th. And before I circle that for a final answer, we always want to check, can I reduce? And I think I can. I'm going to break that 96 down and find some pairs. First, maybe start with 12 times 8. It's a good starting point. 12 is made up of 4 times 3. I can break 4 down into 2 times 2. 8 is 2 times 4, and I'm going to keep going because 4 is 2 times 2. Now I'm going to break down or write out the factored form of my x's and y's. There we go. So x to the 5th means x times itself 5 times, and y to the 6th means y times itself 6 times. And what I'm going to start to do is look for the pairs, right? Okay, so I can do that with both the numbers and the variables. So outside on the radical, I'm going to have a 2 times 2 for my groups of 2. And I'm also going to have an x times x for those 2 groups of x's, and a y times y times y for those 3 groups of y's that I made. Or if you want to simplify that, the 2 times 2 is 4. I can write the x times x as x squared, and the y times y times y as y to the 3rd. Now let's talk about what's still underneath that radical symbol. I had a few things that didn't group up or have a pair. I'm noticing a 3 and a 2, and I'm also noticing the x. So I want to include the 3 times 2, or I can multiply that together for 6, and I also want to include that x that didn't group up. And that would be my completely simplified answer. So those are the basics with multiplying square roots. There are a couple different examples in your workbook. We're going to use those same skills, but I just want to look at those examples because maybe they're written a little bit differently, or we might pull in a skill from a previous unit or from Algebra 1. So for example, I'm looking at number 5, and it's 4 square root 5 raised to the 2nd power. So the first thing I want you to do is rewrite that as a 4 square root 5 times itself, because that's all it means when it says squared. And now we want to think of it just like the previous 2 examples where we are going to multiply the coefficients together. So 4 times 4 is going to be 16. And I'm going to also want to multiply the radicands, the part underneath the radical symbol. So I am going to have 5 times 5, or 25, underneath that radical symbol. Again, before I circle that as a final answer, I want to look, can I reduce my answer? And I'm looking at the 25 underneath the square root symbol. There are a pair of 5s, or we also know the square root of 25 is 5, so what I have here is 16 times 5, or a final answer of 80. Example 6 in your workbook is another example of multiplying radicals. This time we are going to use the distributive property. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look at multiplying the 10 square root 3 by the first term 6 square root 5. And I'm going to start with those coefficients, so I am going to multiply the 10 times 6 first for 60, and then I am going to make sure that I multiply the radicands together. So 3 times 5 is 15. I'll bring down my plus, and I'm going to start distributing to the second term. Now when I look at the coefficients, I'm still going to use the 10, but this time the coefficient in front of the square root 15, I don't see a number there, so we know it's automatically assumed that it's a 1. So I am going to multiply 10 times 1, just 10. And then when I look for the radicand, I'm going to multiply 3 times 15, which is 45. And again, I want to look for, can I reduce, can I break down these radicals, maybe simplify them? Now 15 is made up of 5 times 3, so there are no pairs that I can pull out. So 60 square root 15 is completely simplified. But let me look at this 10 square root 45. We know 45 is made up of 9 times 5, and 9 is made up of 3 times 3. So I do have a pair of 3's that we can pull out of the radical. Now you already have a 10 out in front, so 10 times 3 is going to give us 30. And remember, the 5 that didn't pair up is left underneath the radical symbol. I'm going to bring that down with the first term we said was already simplified, 60 square root 15. And it is an addition problem, so I'm going to check, can I add these two terms together? Are they like radicals? And one is a square root 15. The second term is a square root 5. They are not like radicals, so we are completely simplified. Your answer is going to be two terms. Okay, our last two examples are going to be another multiply, but this time notice there are two binomials being multiplied by each other. So this is a good example where you would use a double distribute, or I know some of you like to use the box method. Either way is a-okay and should get us to the same final answer. For this example, I am going to use the double distribute method, since we just talked about distributing with one term. Double distribute seems to follow naturally. So I am going to start with the 5, and I am going to distribute that to the 4, and I'm going to come back and distribute that to the square root 6. So let's start talking about that 5 times 4, which is 20, and then I'm going to multiply 5 times the square root 6. And if it helps, I like to put a 1 in front of the square root 6, so I remember that 5 is like a coefficient, and it's going to be multiplied by the 1. Remember, numbers outside the radicals can be multiplied together, and then numbers underneath the radical can be multiplied together. Now in this case, the 5 doesn't have a radical symbol, so we would leave it as square root 6. We don't have another number to multiply that square root 6 by. So that's the first part of distributing, but remember this is a double distribute, so we're going to come back and distribute our second term. Now remember the coefficient here, I'm going to also include the 1 to help us remember that's a negative 1 that we are going to multiply by 4. So that's actually going to end up being a negative 4 square root 6. And then I'm going to take the negative 1 square root 6 and multiply that by positive 1 square root 6. So the coefficients out in front, negative 1 times positive 1, is going to be a negative 1. And underneath my radical symbol, I have 6 times 6 for 36. Okay, now this looks like an a-okay answer until I take a closer look. I'm realizing a couple things. The first thing I noticed, and I'm curious if anyone else caught on as I was writing those 4 terms, did you notice some like terms here in the middle? The 5 square root 6 and the minus 4 square root 6 can be combined together. And remember, when we want to add or subtract like radicals, you take the coefficients, and in this case I'm going to change that to a negative 4, so I remember. So I'm going to add the 5 and the negative 4 here. So that's going to be a positive 1. Okay, so these two are adding together for a positive 1 square root 6. Okay, so I have some like radicals that I can add together. Now I also noticed one other thing. My square root 36 is really made up of 6 times 6. So I am going to bring this term down as a minus 6. And don't forget, remember, we started our answer off with a 20. Now there is one more step because I have some whole numbers here. I can add the 20 with the, let me change that to plus a negative 6. So I'm going to add the 20 with my negative 6 to get a 14 for my whole numbers. And then remember, we have 1 square root of 6. And 14 and the 1 square root of 6 can't be added together. One's a whole number, one's a radical. So we are completely simplified, final answer. Now number 8 is a similar problem where you would need to do your double distribute, or like I said, I know some of you enjoy using the box method to help organize your terms. So I want you to pause the video right now and go ahead, try number 8 with your preferred method, whether it's the double distribute, or some of you use FOIL, or again the box method. So go ahead, pause it, and give it a try. Okay, here's my work. I used the box method to help organize my multiplying. Of course, I reduced my answer and found some like terms, so final answer 30 square root 2 minus 17 square root 10. I hope you got the same answer, and thanks so much for watching.